Hi everyone, it's April with Hair 101, and today we are going to do some lowlights on this gorgeous natural blonde head of hair. Her hair is so beautiful that she actually can't find people to color it because they always say no, is what you were telling me, right?
Yeah.
They were like, no, everybody wants hair like this, don't color it. I've known her for a while. I actually did her wedding pictures a while back. But she's like, I just want some lowlights like your hair. So I said, let's do it. The formula we're going to be using is the 6NA with just a little bit of the 2GN to darken it up a little bit, and then 10 volume. I have several little chunks down in the bottom of my hair, so I'm going to take her hair and just part it off. And I just went on the roll of the head right in the back, right along the top of the occipital bone. And I'm going to do 3 diagonal chunks right in here. And these two I'm going to angle in just a little bit so they look a little bit thicker, and this one will just be straight up and down. Now, less is more with this color of hair, especially because when it does start to grow out, she could have some reverse roots. Luckily, it won't really show down in the bottom of her hair because it will be laying on top of itself, but definitely would not put any lowlights on the top of her head right in her part line. Because when it starts to grow out, she'll have white roots, black ends, or we'll say dark brown ends or brown ends. And then the root spot will look like a little bald spot. So she'll look like she's balding or thinning, and so we don't want that. We don't want that visual illusion. So I'm going to just go through here in the back, though, back on track. Here we go. And I'm going to take like a 1/4 of an inch chunk. And less is really more with blonde hair because the blonde hair is see-through and the dark hair is going to be solid, so you won't be able to see. And see, this is another reason why I love chemical drapes, having the towel right there. If I get something on my finger, I can just wipe it on them. Yeah, that's probably not the best tip, but I do it, so haters back off. All right, so just this little chunk right here. I'm going to go and reach in right underneath here and get some right down by her neck. These are really short, and so I'm going to kind of have to just scrape off the brush as much as I can and just lightly grab them with the brush. And once they get wet, they'll stay over there, as you can see. You want to make sure you're really clean with this, because if you drip any into her hair, a blonde like this, it will be a big old polka dot. You do not want that. So this one I'm going to angle in on this angle, the same as the other one, so it was like a V shape. And I like to work in odd numbers whenever I do color placement with foils. I'll either do just 1, 3, or 5, and I think it just looks a little bit better. Kind of the same, I've talked about this before in other videos, but it's like when you learn arranging flowers, you'll do things in odd numbers. It's just more pleasing to the eye. Keeps it balanced. I'm going to part off this middle section in the back. So it's kind of like where the mohawk section would extend to. And I'm going to just do a couple chunky weaves through this part. So when I say chunky weave, I usually do like 1/2 inch sections and leave out 1/2 inch sections too. So typically I get 3 big chunks. Another tip for something like this, tinting back blondes, you want to make sure that your sections are small, because if the color doesn't saturate all the way through both layers or all the whole chunk of the hair, you'll get spots. And if you're a little bit worried about it, if you felt like that last section was a little bit too thick, you can go in and flip the back of the foil like I just did to make sure that you get both sides totally saturated. And that works good too, but just something to keep in mind. So I left out like 1 inch chunk of the blonde, and then I took another small slice and did 3 or 4 big chunks out of it this time. And as I go towards the front, these are going to get smaller and like further apart. So you really do want to keep the front of her hair light. This one I'm actually going to do big chunks of blonde and really small pieces of the brown. So you transition over pretty quick. We don't want to overdo the brown with her. She definitely loves her natural light hair. Now that I'm getting into where her part is, you can see I'm about 1.5 inches or 2 inches away from where she starts to part her hair. I'm not going to stick anything else in the part right here or even right in this area. I'm going to start working from about 1 inch underneath her part and down on this side. So if we didn't put any highlights in the top, her chunks on the top, if we just highlighted the top, it would end like right here and she wouldn't have any brown in there. So I'm going to do some more vertical chunks in here. And you can see that I have a couple, one right in front of my ear, maybe one right behind my ear. So we'll do that. And from the side, that will still look good because she'll have like one here, and then this one in the back will count as the third. So we'll still be like working with threes. So one right here by her face. And these can be pretty thin. Because I'm doing it vertical, you're going to see, and if you angle it a little bit, it looks thicker. So I would say angle it a little bit. When it falls forward, it would be like a stripe. So if you angle it this way, and it fell forward. So if you had this whole piece colored and it fell forward, it'd be more like a panel. So that's why I'm keeping it angled with her fall of her hair, how she would wear it. I keep clawing your ear, sorry friend. And if you're worried about it being a little bit too thick, you can even weave this section, but yeah, I think I'll leave out a couple small pieces of her blonde just like that. So that's the piece we're working with now. And it's just in front of her ear. And then we're going to do one right. I'm going to do this one the other way. So this one will look a little bit chunkier and it will go towards the back of her hair. So it's another V shape. And I'm going to do the whole chunk on this one. And I'm going to do one more little piece with just 2 little small chunks right here. So it helps me because I'm making a video. If she wanted to like get this retouched, I would know, first of all, I'd know because I did it last time how to follow it. But even if you didn't know, you should be able to go through and pick out the pieces of hair that are dark because those are kind of easy to spot and just highlight those. But you can see we're not using very many foils. We only have 3 foils in the front, 5 in the back, and then 3 right here in this middle back section. And we're going to do another 3 on this side. But on this side, okay, I need to turn you this way. So on this side, we have a little bit more room to play because she parts on her right, and all of this hair is over here on her left. So I can actually start the highlights. I would still stay 1 inch away from her hairline on the front and about 1 inch away from her hairline on the top. So I can part that off and make sure I don't color any of that. But I have a lot more hair here to play with than I did on the other side, so this will be fun. Because it's so different on this side, I can color it a little bit different. I'm going to just take a chunk right here and leave all this dark by her face. And I'm taking the first inch by her face out too. I'm just dropping that out. I don't want to color anything that close to her hairline. And I'm just going to take some big chunk weaves right here. So this is my 3rd foil with leaving like a big inch chunk and then taking the last 1/4 of an inch on the top and just weaving it. And I was chunky. Now this one's going to be thin. I'm going to just do a few teeny little brown pieces, smaller towards the face, less often. So it's going to blend better to have like the blonde on top and then a little bit of a transition and then more dark on the bottom. It will all make sense, trust me. So this is our last little section. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to take a few little pieces every inch. And they're quite small, you can see them. All right, so now we are going to process this for 20 to 45 minutes. I'm not going to use heat. If you use heat with this color line, it's way faster. You can do anywhere from like 10 to 20 minutes. And it goes a little bit darker when you use heat, but only if you're using foils. If you do it on the scalp, then the manufacturer says no heat. So it's in foils. I could process this with heat, but I'm not going to because I don't want it to go darker. I'm just going to let it do room temperature. We'll check it at 20 minutes. And that's about it. Her hair is really, really super healthy, so it might take a little bit longer to get deep into the hair, but I'll see you in 20 minutes. All right, you guys, we are done. And look, she has some fun dimension through her hair now. This is the first time she's ever had some like low lights in her hair. So this is fun, and it's good that it's not up in front. So yeah, we would be able to see it more if it was like right here, but like I said, we don't want to deal with reverse roots, and this is a lot less maintenance. So let me show you the back. And that's what I also like about this color line. It's the Scruples Shadow Lights. It just blends in really pretty with blonde hair, and it doesn't look like a black harsh line. Like, it looks really natural still. But you can see she has chunks back here, a few little pieces around her face, and that's it. So I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think, and give me a comment below and tell me what you guys want to see next, and give me a thumbs up because this was really daring for her to do. She has this natural gorgeous blonde hair, and so give her a thumbs up for being daring. Don't forget to check me out on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and we can be friends on all of those, and that will be awesome. So we'll see you next time. Bye.